Hello everyone and welcome to a library book haul. So I'm gonna have two parts to this. As far as I have two separate bags. So the library that I go to is a part of what's called the Salt Lake County Library System. There are around, I think there's more than 20 libraries within this library system. So if I go to one city that's at, like, let's say the north end of the Salt Lake County Valley, and then there's a library at the south end that I happen to be there, I can pick up a book there and return it. So it's like, as long as it's within that Salt Lake County Library System, whether it's the north, south, middle, wherever it is, I can pick it up from one end of the Salt Lake County and drop it off at the other end of the Salt Lake County. So some of these books are from libraries that I go to, and some of these books are libraries that I've never set foot in. And some of these don't have library stickers on them at all. So let's go ahead and delve in. Now the library that I go to, they're getting rid of their book sale area, which is sad. I asked why, and they said it's because they just don't get enough foot traffic. Now other libraries within the Salt Lake County Library System will continue to have their book sale area, but there's more of a demand for having an extra study room. So where they have the library book sale area, they're going to convert it to a study room, which fine. I'm bummed that the library sale will no longer be there, but it is what it is. So every single book, they're just trying to clear it out. I went through and picked out a handful, a little bit more than a handful. Every single book was 10 cents. So I spent $1.10 on 11 books. Now some of these are later in the series, so I have ordered on Amazon the first books in the series, and I ended up spending on those ones like less than 15 bucks. So there's like 4 of those, so less than $20 for like 15 books. All in all, once I include the ones from Amazon, which have not arrived yet, and I don't know when they'll arrive, but so we'll see. And this one is one that's later on in the series, and this looks like pretty brand spanking new. There's no library stickers on it, so I'm wondering if someone read it and then thought they would pass it off to the library and let them make some money off of it to go towards the library system. And I think this is number 4 in the series. I could be wrong, but it is later on in the series. And this one is How to Deceive a Duke, written by Samara Parish. This is part of A Rebels with a Cause. It says the series right there, which I like it when, if it's in a series, it has what series it's a part of. Will opposites attract or go up in flames when sparks fly between a proper duke and an unconventional lady looking for a second chance? Fiona McTavish is an engineer, a chemist, a rebel, and one whose idea of a proper lady. Oh, and no one's idea of a proper lady. I had that wrong. She prefers breeches to ballrooms, but her new invention, matches, will surely turn as many heads. There's just a little matter of her being arrested for a crime she didn't commit. And the only person she can turn to for help is the man who broke her heart years ago. Edward Sterling, Duke of Wilford, will do anything to restore his family's name and put his father's scandalous death behind them. But when Fiona needs his help getting released from prison, he can't deny her, even though it means she must live with him as a condition of her freedom. With the desire between them rekindling as fast as the gossip about their arrangement is spreading among the ton, Edward will have to choose what matters most to him, his reputation or his heart. The next one I purchased is The Dating Experiment by Elodia Strain. After losing her job, her house, and her guy, the last thing Gabby wants to do is be in a dating experiment, especially with her ex. Her only chance of making it through is with help from her childhood best friend and secret crush, Ian. As she participates in the study and its hilariously awkward dates, Gabby begins to wonder, can science lead her to her perfect match, or will she have to find him all on her own? And I will say all these books that I bought would have been found in the adult section if they weren't in the library sale. So they're all adult. This next one is called Ultimate Power by Stephen Frey. American financial and political powers collide and conspire in a breakneck thriller. Okay, here's the synopsis. Andrew Falcon Jr. is the youngest hedge fund manager to make partner at a powerful investment bank on Wall Street. His career is soaring and his financial future is secured. But with fortune comes a high price. Just as Falcon thought his life couldn't be better, his niece Claire is kidnapped. Yet her abductors have no interest in money. They want information in exchange for Claire's safe return. Falcon must dig deep into his family's affairs, uncovering secrets worse than he could ever imagine. He discovers a conspiracy tied to the U.S. government. A rogue faction is manipulating the American people to establish a new order, now facing impossible odds and a plot that goes all the way to the nation's leaders. Falcon must find a way to save not only his family, but also his country. And while I'm filming this, my mom's cousin, so my second cousin, is here helping us. We had our windows replaced in our house, and he is here helping to put the blinds back up because I can't do it. Like physically, I cannot, and neither can my mom. She can't lift her arms that high, so he is here to do that for us. And this is another one that was later on in the series, and this is Lady Louisa's Christmas Night by Grace Burrowes. When a lady has a secret, she needs more than a friend. No one would guess that Lady Louisa Wyndham, the most revered of the Duke of Moreland's daughters, had once acted so rashly on a dare from her brother. But now a fortune hunter threatens to reveal her secret identity at a holiday ball. She needs a hero. To keep Louisa from being publicly humiliated, close family friend Sir Joseph Carrington offers himself as a solution. As he courts Louisa with gentleness and gallantry, they begin to realize their match may be the best Christmas gift either could imagine. But alas, Sir Joseph has a secret of his own. Next up, I have A Princess by Christmas by Julia London. This is part of A Royal Wedding, and this is later on in the series as well. She's discovered his secret. Now the trouble really begins. After 3 years of mourning and turning her dear deceased husband's Gazette into the ton's sauciest source of fashion and gossip, Hollis Honeycutt feels her life has been strangely bereft of late. Her sister is living abroad and her best friend moved to the country. What must a young widow of rank and reputation do? Why, transform her society gossip sheets into serious investigative news, starting with a rumored coup and the rather dashing, mysterious gentleman whom Hollis suspects might be the villain of her first real story, and she is the only one who can write it. Merrick Brendan is investigating terrible rumors of treachery and treason that threaten his home country of Westloria, but he must proceed with caution. No one can discover the truth. After all, who would ever believe he is Westloria's lost crown prince? Once Hollis Honeycutt's cerulean blue eyes seem to know more than she's letting on, and worse, Merrick can't seem to resist her curious charms. But even as betrayal threatens a nation and a throne, nothing is quite so dangerous as the lovely young widow who's determined to find the truth, and a prince of her own. Now this book was not one that was library owned because I just noticed a sticker on the back of this, and this is from a store that went bankrupt. And I think I don't know, I know it's no longer in Utah. I don't know outside of the U.S., but I do know it went bankrupt. Shopko. Public retail, $5.99. So someone dropped this off at the library just for them to make some money on. Ghost of a Chance by Jayne and Krentz. Very shiny, shiny cover. It was time to lay some ghosts to rest. Anne Silver's brother has been working to expose a clever ring of swindlers when he was struck down by a car, a clear case of attempted murder. Now Anne's determined to finish what her brother started, but she can't do it without the help of ex-CIA agent Julian Aries, a man who once betrayed her. With Julian as an unwilling conspirator, the couple goes undercover to face ghosts old and new, an unsolved murder, and a clever gang of fake psychics. But as Anne and Julian put their lives on the line, the icy chill of danger and a powerful desire they can no longer deny force them to confront the greatest unsolved mystery of all, their unlikely love. Next, I have It's a Christmas Thing by Jeanette Dailey. This is one that was not, this is like brand new looking. Like, I don't even think it's been read. Type of that good of condition. The best gifts last a lifetime. Veterinarian J.T. Rushford isn't looking forward to Christmas. It'll be his first without his beloved 4-year-old daughter Claire. A year ago, Rush's wife divorced him for another man, then broke his heart further by revealing that Claire was her lover's child. The final blow was Rush losing all parental rights. Now he's in Branding Iron, Texas, with his mobile vet practice, just hoping to get through the season until something like a Christmas miracle happens. Turns out Claire's parents are going on an extended cruise, leaving Rush to take her for the holidays. It's bittersweet, knowing that he and Claire will have to part again. Maybe forever. Until a smart, not to mention beautiful lady judge with a pregnant cat and an aging mutt takes a liking to the vet and his little girl and gets involved. With her on their side and love in their hearts, this Christmas just might be the most joyous of all. Next up, I have House Broken by Sonja Yoerg. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Let's see. Okay, now the sticker's over there for veterinarian Geneva Novik. Animal something than people. So animals are better than people? They're also easier to forgive. But when her mother Helen is injured in a vodka-fueled accident, it's up to Geneva to give her the care she needs. Since her teens, Geneva has kept her self-destructive mother at arm's length. Now, with 2 slippery teenagers of her own at home, the last thing she wants is to add Helen to the mix. But Geneva's husband convinces her that letting Helen live with them could be her golden chance to repair their relationship. Geneva isn't expecting her mother to change anytime soon, but she may finally get answers to the questions she's been asking for so long. As the truth about her family unfolds, however, Geneva may find secrets too painful to bear and too terrible to forgive. This next one is called Lady's Choice by Jayne and Krentz. So this author we have seen before in this haul. He had a plan. After the passion and soft intimacy of a lover's embrace, Travis Sawyer realized he'd taken his need for revenge too far. Juliana Grant had gotten under his skin and in the way, and now there was no turning back. She had a choice. Somehow, Juliana's heart had been caught in the crossfire of a man determined to get even, but she couldn't play the game too. But she could play the game too. By all accounts, Travis owned her, and she intended to see that he paid his debts in full. Another repeat author in this book haul is Janet Dailey. This one is Maybe This Christmas, and this is the last Christmas book in this library sale book haul part. Let's see, Darling Jenny. Some Christmas vacation, an unexpected blizzard just stranded Jennifer Glenn in the heart of the mountains, and her boots aren't made for walking. But the Jeep's buried in a snowdrift, and a lovely log cabin is the only shelter for miles around. Just her luck. There's only one bed. She's not about to share it with Logan Taylor, even though the handsome rancher swept her up in his arms and carried her over the threshold. He can just take the chair by the fire like a gentleman, if he is a gentleman, and he can just stop calling her darling, or she'll never fall asleep. So I think this is 2 stories. Yeah. The second one is Strange Bedfellow. So the first one is Darling Jenny in this book, and the next one is Strange Bedfellow. It says, Happy holidays were only a memory for Diana Chandler in the years after her husband's plane disappeared over the jungle. But the Christmas to come will be a celebration like no other. Now that Blake has returned, his long ordeal has changed everything except his passionate love for the woman who was once his wife. Winning her back will be the greatest challenge and the greatest gift of all. And the last book I bought from the library sale is Whatever It Takes by Jessica Pack. Okay, this one I've got to look up on Goodreads because the Salt Lake County Library sticker is covering most of the paragraph, so I have no idea what the synopsis says. So I'm going to read the first paragraph from Goodreads and then I'll switch over to what's on the book. Sienna has no memory of her late mother, yet every significant day of her life, birthdays, the first day of high school graduation, has been marked by a letter written during her last weeks of life. Sienna knows her father feels grateful to be able to offer up these connections to the loving, talented woman his daughter never got a chance to know. Yet, for Sienna herself, the letters have become a dreaded burden, a reminder that every milestone is less than it would be if both parents were still living. A month before her 25th birthday, Sienna finds a lump. Facing a cancer diagnosis, Sienna begins to ask questions about her mother's terminal illness. Questions that reveal unsettling inconsistencies and voids in the stories she's been told. The deeper she digs, the more the image of her mother as a contented homemaker warps into something much darker and far more troubling. If Sienna's dad lied about this, what else did he lie about? What does it mean to be a good parent? What role does the past play in who we are? And to what lengths should one go to protect a child? Now this next grouping I'm going to show you are all books that I borrowed from the library. So these will be returning. As of right now, they're due back June 25th, but I can do up to 3 renewals, I believe. I do have my county library app. Yeah, I can renew up to 3 times. So I can do 3 renewals. And then obviously when I go, I'm just not going to get to, I can return to the library. So these are ones that I've borrowed that I definitely want to look into. This first one is a horror book, and this is Night Warriors, new release it looks like because it has the new sticker. Written by Graham Masterton. Henry was the first something, sleeping on the beach with his friends Gil and Susan. When they learn what has happened to her, they are thrown into a mystery that nightmares are made of. The young girl has been forced to host a hideous malevolence that insinuates itself into the bodies and minds of thousands of unsuspecting people. The only hope of saving them is to become Night Warriors, an ancient order with the power to infiltrate the dream world and destroy the original source. Together they enter the unknown, but one thing is certain: they will fail to find it. The beast will certainly find them. And this is the start of a series. I just don't know how many books are going to be in this series. I know I saw the second book already out there on the shelf next to this one. Was there 3? I don't remember. Could just be another book by the same author, but I know this is book 1 in the series. The next book I checked out, I've checked out before and didn't get to it, but I still really want to try to get to it. And this is the Bromance Book Club by Lyssa K. Adams. So I have checked this out once or twice before, so hopefully this second or third time will be the charm. Let's see. The first rule of book club: you don't talk about book club. Nashville Legends second baseman Gavin Scott's marriage is in major league trouble. He's recently discovered a humiliating secret. His wife, Thea, has been faking the big O. When he loses his cool at the revelation, it's the final straw on their already strained relationship. Thea asks for a divorce, and Gavin realizes he's let his pride and fear get the better of him. Welcome to the Bromance Book Club. Distraught and desperate, Gavin finds help from an unlikely source, a secret romance book club made up of Nashville's top alpha men. With the help of their current read, a steamy Regency novel titled Courting the Countess, the guys coach Gavin on saving his marriage, but it'll take a lot more than flowery words and grand gestures for this hapless Romeo to find his inner hero and win back the trust of his wife. Now this one says it's a sweet romantic comedy, and this one is the mostly real McCoy, written by Julie Christianson. Let's see. Not everyone is destined to live something. What if averagely ever after is something? I don't know. Less hoping means less heartbreak. Then I meet Mac and Daisy. Single dad Mac needs a temporary nanny for his daughter, Daisy. I need a second job until my promotion kicks in. Since our arrangement is only for 1 month, I am positive I won't get attached. Medium positive. Okay, I'm negative. This is a terrible idea, because I can't give Mac and Daisy what they need, and I won't risk breaking their hearts. But his green eyes and her crooked pigtails have me dreaming about forever. And who can resist a dad buying pink ballerina tights after a day spent in a hard hat? The thing is, Mac is a fixer, and I need to repair my own life. Better yet, I don't want to feel broken. So it's a good thing the worst has already happened to me. Nothing will hurt me now. Water can't get wetter. Can't get wetter, Brooke. That's what I keep telling myself. Too bad I'm all wrong. Next up, I have A Letter to 3 Witches by Elizabeth Bass. Something happened a century ago involving Gwen. It had catastrophic side effects. As a result, something regarding the descendants from practicing witchcraft, so I guess they can't. And let's see, snitches called watchers. So there's snitches called watchers in the community to report any errant spellcasting. Now I can read the synopsis. Yet magic may still be alive and not so well in Zenobia. Gwen and her cousins, Trudy and Milo, receive a letter from Gwen's adopted sister, Tanith, informing them that she's bewitched one of their partners and will run away with him at the end of the week. While Gwen frets about whether to trust their scientist boyfriend currently out of town on beetle studying trip, she's worried that local grad student Jeremy is secretly a watcher doing his own research. Cousin Trudy is so stressed that she accidentally enchants her cupcakes, creating havoc among her bakery customers and in her marriage. Perhaps it's time the family took back control and figured out how to harness their powers. How else can Gwen decide whether her growing feelings for Jeremy are real or the result of too many of Trudy's cupcakes? Okay, that sounds interesting. Next, I have The Sanctuary by Andrew Hunter Murray. This one, I don't know what genre. I think this is a thriller? I don't know. But it was on the new release section. And a disintegrating and lawless near future, a young man journeys north to a mysterious island owned by one of the world's wealthiest men and finds an entire new civilization waiting for him. Ben is a painter from the crowded, turbulent city. For 6 months, his fiancée, Kara, has been working on the remote island of Sanctuary Rock, the private estate of millionaire philanthropist Sir John Pemberley. Now she has decided to break off their engagement and stay there for good. Ben travels to the island to try to win Kara back. After an arduous journey, he finds himself compelled to stay. But as Ben begins to traverse Pemberley's kingdom, he begins to uncover the truth of the apparently perfect society the enigmatic Sir John is building. Is Sanctuary Rock truly a second Eden, as he claims, or a previously undiscovered level of hell? Next up, I have One Final Project by Janice Cantore, I'm guessing is how that is said. Could be wrong on that, but that's what I'm guessing. A warrant service in the San Bernardino Mountains goes horribly wrong when an IED blast kills 4 police officers. Devastated by the loss of her team, the lone survivor, Long Beach Sergeant Jody King, struggles with her guilt and grief, especially as the case remains open with no clear leads or suspects. Weeks after the explosion, Jody retires from the police department and returns to the mountain bomb site seeking peace and resolution, only to find herself in the crosshairs once again. Sam Gresham just happens to be in the right place at the right time when shots are fired at Jody. The newest detective for the county sheriff's department, Sam is assigned to work the IED, his first case back after his own traumatic loss. While Sam sees an opportunity to help Jody heal from her lingering scars, Jody hopes fresh eyes will bring new insight to the investigation. Because after this latest shooting, one thing seems clear. Jody has always been the intended target, and the threat may be much closer to her than anyone wants to admit. Next, I have A Perfect Pairing by Sheryl Lister. I like this cover. Let's see. Natasha Baldwin loves her something. Let's see. Town of Fiery Lake. She has a good job and even better friends. So I'm wondering if it's small town. I don't know. Really, Tasha has only 2 regrets. Never pursuing her dream career and how things ended with Antonio Hayes years ago. So when an opportunity arises to show off her passion for interior design, Tasha's excited and a little nervous. But with the support of her girlfriends at their bi-weekly supper club, she's eager to dive in until she discovers that Antonio is her new project partner. Teaming up with her ex is less than ideal, but with all eyes in town on her new project, Tasha knows now is not the time to let her messy past with Antonio impact her future. Yet working with Antonio immediately sparks bittersweet memories and the same undeniable, irresistible chemistry even after all their years apart. Then, just as Natasha realizes that the life and love she's waited waited for are within reach. Her big break comes around, and she must decide what she truly wants. So, that sounds good. Next up, I have The Inn on Sweetbriar Lane. I'm guessing the first name is Jeannie, and then Chin. So that's the cover. Like this cover as well. Let's see. June Woo has it all together. Let's see. And then the sticker's covering up a couple of words here. So family's in. So her family's in. Desperately needs guests. Her mother's medical debts are piling up, and surely if sexy stranger next door is driving away the customers she has left. When he asks for June's help, though, she can't say no. After all, his new bar could be just what the upcoming Pumpkin Festival needs to bring in more tourists. But with the fierce attraction between them, will working together be playing with fire? Ex-soldier Clay Hawthorne prefers being on his own. He's moved to Blue Cedar Falls for one reason, to carry out his best friend's dream of opening a bar in the hometown he'll now never return to. But the town's business association is trying to stop Clay's progress. June soon becomes his biggest supporter, and while their partnership is supposed to be only temporary, for the first time Clay wants something permanent with June. Can two total opposites really learn to meet each other in the middle? It says this includes a bonus novella called Kiss Me in Sweetwater Springs by Annie Raines. So, next I have A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee. Most of these are romance. Again, the sticker is coming up, part of the synopsis. We have Aubrey Cho, who's been content running something in some kind of comfort zone. And with its first expansion taking up all of her time, dating has been the least of her priorities. When a one-night stand with gorgeous Korean hunk Landon Kim makes her want things she didn't think she had time for, too bad it turns out he's a celebrity food critic whose scathing review of Comfort Zone goes viral and nearly destroys Aubrey's business. Okay, so Comfort Zone is a business that she owns. Okay. And her fond memory of their night together. Landon tries to clean up the mess he made by offering Aubrey a spot on the new celebrity cooking show he's producing. She agrees to use this as a way to save her bakery and her reputation. No thanks to him. But she vows to guard her heart. Okay. Now Aubrey and Landon find themselves sharing a villa in California's wine country which is a guaranteed recipe for disaster. For the next 3 weeks, baker and critic will tempt each other as they struggle to resist admitting that they have all the necessary ingredients for love. Yeah, that does sound messy, but it sounds very cute. And when I was checking these books out from the library, I was making sure they were either standalones or the first in a series. So, and there was like book number 2 or 3 in this one in a series that caught my eye, but I got book number 1 instead. So this one is Like Cats and Dogs by Kate McMurray. Things get rough in this Brooklyn neighborhood when new veterinarian Caleb Fitch moves in next door to the Whitman Secret Cat Cafe and gets on the wrong side of cafe owner Lauren Harlow. Lauren can't ignore the fact that she is instantly attracted to Caleb, but she gets riled up when he argues with her about how best to treat the cats in her care. Lauren has a few things to teach the new vet on the block. Determined to smooth things over, Caleb comes to the rescue when a new litter of abandoned kittens is left on Lauren's doorstep, and they confront the fiery attraction that's been building between them from the start. But saving the baby kittens is only the first challenge Lauren and Caleb have to face. And when a real estate developer comes sniffing around their block, they'll have to work together or risk losing everything. And it's because this involves cats that I'm sold on it. So now this next one I got specifically because I thought this would fit. There's several readathons, like year-long readathons I'm participating in, and I think there's one prompt either in this month's readathon or in June's readathon out of the several I'm doing, or in several of the year-longs, where the book needs to be focused around like gaming and video games. And this one will cover that prompt, whichever readathon it is. This one is Game On by Ceresia Glass. Samara Reynolds has built a large following as a gamer under an anonymous screen name and uses her skills as a DEIA consultant to advocate for equal representation in video games. When she posts a video critiquing the popular game Legends Fall, she knows she'll get a reaction from her fans, but the video leads to hundreds of female gamers criticizing the game and its company, Artemis Games. The only thing more unexpected than starting an online movement is getting a job offer from the handsome CEO of Artemis. Aaron Galanis has been on a mission to get his company certified to create gaming content for people with disabilities. When he sees Artemis trending online for all the wrong reasons, he's determined to right his wrongs and offers the original poster a mea culpa as well as a job offer to overhaul the character options in Legendfall. Working together turns Aaron and Samara from adversaries into allies, allies into friends, and after that, something more. But once the relationship goes public, will Aaron and Samara be able to weather the storm and fight for their happy ending, or is it game over? Next, I have The Sweetest Revenge by Lizzie Dent, and this cover is what just, I started to giggle, and I'm like, I've got to read this and see if the inside is as intriguing as the cover. Amy is more than one disastrous night of drunken revenge on her boss's ex-boyfriend's Audi. The night that tanked her rising TV producer career and led to a hasty move to London for a fresh start. She is 30 years of awesomeness. At least, that's what Amy tells herself every morning before trekking to her mediocre job making trailers at a failing British TV channel. 2 years later, she's finally starting to believe it. Sparks are flying between her and Jake, her handsome new downstairs neighbor, and there's a competition at work that just might get her career back on track while bringing her and Jake even closer. But then, in a twisted turn of fate, the ex-boyfriend who wrecked her life is hired as her new boss, and past and present are about to especially hilariously collide. Next up, I have Do Your Worst by Rosie Dinan? I'm not quite sure how to say that. Riley Rhodes finally has the chance to turn her family's knack for the supernatural into a legitimate business when she's hired to break the curse on an infamous Scottish castle. Used to working alone in her alienating occupation, she's pleasantly surprised to meet a handsome stranger upon arrival, until he tries to get her fired. Fresh off a professional scandal, Clark Edgware can't allow a self-proclaimed curse breaker to threaten his last chance for redemption. After he fails to get Riley kicked off his survey site, he vows to avoid her. Unfortunately for him, she vows to get even. Riley expects the curse to do her dirty work by driving Clark away, but instead they keep finding themselves in close proximity. Too close. Turns out the only thing they do better than fight is fool around. If they're not careful, by the end of this, more than the castle will end up in ruins. That sounds like it's going to be pretty spicy. Okay, I only have 4 more in this library book haul. This next one, this is the second time I've checked this out again. I ran out of time to read this, and I still really want to read it. I am intrigued by the cover and the title. So, Real Men Knit by Quanah Jackson. So I still really want to get to this one. When their foster-turned-adoptive mother suddenly dies, 4 brothers struggle to keep open doors of her beloved Harlem knitting shop. Oh, open the doors of their, okay. Jesse Strong is known for 2 things, his devotion to his adoptive mom, Mama Joy, and his reputation for breaking hearts. When Mama Joy unexpectedly passes away, he and his brothers have different plans for what to do with Strong Knits, their neighborhood knitting store. Jesse wants to keep the store open. His brothers want to tie off loose ends and close shop. Part-time shop employee Kelly Fuller has kept her crush on Jesse a secret. When she overhears the impassioned plea to his brothers to keep the knitting shop open, she volunteers to help. Unlike Jesse, Carrie knows the nitty-gritty of the business, and together they make plans to reinvent strong knits for a new generation. But the more time they spend together, the stronger the chemistry builds between them. Carrie, knowing Jesse's history, doesn't believe the relationship can last longer than she can knit one purl two. But Jesse is determined to prove to her that he can be the man for her forever and always. After all, real men knit. These next 2 are both westerns. There's a readathon in June where it's to read the goal is to read Western books, and I generally don't gravitate towards Westerns, although they do sound really good, and I think I will like this genre, but I haven't picked it up. And so the goal is just to read Westerns. If you want 2 prompts, the goal is to read at least 1 book by Zane Grey, which is the one I got here, and that one is, and it's any book by Zane Grey, just to read a book by the author. So the one that I have for my library is The Last of the Plainsmen. Big, brash, and fearless, Buffalo Jones is in pursuit of the greatest mountain lion ever spotted in the remote Arizona desert. Determined to bring the best home alive, Jones leads a colorful band of brothers into a wild land across the Colorado River to Buckskin Mountain at the Red Mesa rim of the Grand Canyon. But while Jones has forsworn a killing, even smashed his rifle on a wagon wheel and a vow to save the species, he and his men are entering a fight for their lives. If Apaches, stampedes of wild horses, or rattlesnakes don't get them, another enemy will. Roaming packs of the one best who fears no man. And the other goal is to read a book from the author Louis L'Amour. So I have Sackett's Land, and this is the first in a series. I don't know how long it is. It just has a sticker saying Sackett's #1. So yeah, we'll see. The sticker is covering a bit. After discovering 6 gold somethings, something located at Devil's Dyke, something invests in goods that he will offer for something. But Sackett has a powerful enemy, Rupert Gennister. Nephew or an earl wants him dead. A battlefield promise to make Sackett's father threatens Gennister's inheritance. So on the eve of his departure for America, Sackett is attacked and thrown into the hold of a pirate ship. Gennister's orders are for him to disappear into the waters of the Atlantic. But after managing to escape, Sackett makes his way to the Carolina coast. He sees in the raw, abundant land the promise of a bright future. But before that dream can be realized, he must first return to England and discover the secret of his father's legacy. Now, I will say that between these 2 Westerns, this one sounds more intriguing to me than the one by Zane Grey. So, and they're both fairly short. Hopefully I'll get to them. If not, that's fine. I have a lot of Westerns on my Kindle, but I kind of wanted to check them out from the library before I know for sure. And they're Westerns that I got for free, but I just wanted some physical Western options as well. So, yeah. And the last book in this library book haul, the last one that I borrowed, is Veiled in Smoke by Jocelyn Green. I saw 3 in this series. They had the same cover style, so I know there's at least 3. And it's called The Windy City Saga, and this one is book #1 in that. And this was just in fiction, so I'm thinking with the cover it's a historical fiction, but I'm not quite sure on if it's something else like romance or anything. So let's see. Meg Townsend and her sister Sylvie seek a quiet existence managing the family bookshop. Meg feels responsible for caring for their father, Stephen, whose spirit and health are both damaged from his time as a prisoner during the Civil War. Her one escape is the paintings she creates and sells in the bookshop. When the Great Fire sweeps through Chicago's business district, the fiery explosions and chaos stir up memories of war for Stephen, as he runs from the blaze and becomes separated from his daughters. Days later, when the smoke is cleared, Meg and Sylvie manage to reunite with him. Their home and shop are lost, and what's left among the ashes may be even more threatening than the flames. For they learn that a close friend was murdered the night of the fire, and Stephen has been charged with the crime. After he is committed to the Cook County Insane Asylum, where they cannot visit him, Stephen feels as lost to them as the shop that now lies in rubble. Though homeless and suddenly unemployed, Meg wants not only to gather the pieces of her shattered life, but prove the truth of what happened that night before the asylum truly drives her father mad. Now this sounds good. This is a little bit more of a chunkster out of all the ones I've checked out, but that's not bad. It's 401 pages, so, but this sounds really interesting. I am really intrigued by this, so yeah, hopefully soon I'll get to this one. And then my thinking with these 17, there's 17 that I borrowed from the library with these books. If I absolutely love the writing, then I will buy my own copy, especially if there's a lot of stuff I want to underline. I'll buy my own copy plus the next book in this series. that's the thing with checking books out from the library. If I like it, I want my own copy, and I imagine these will be no exception to that. But if I kind of just go, yeah, it was good, I enjoyed it, but I don't see myself rereading this particular book ever again, then I won't buy it, and then I'll just continue to check out books from that author from the library type of a situation, unless I can get it on a really good book sale type of a thing. So I don't know, that's kind of my thought, and that's the good thing with the libraries. It's a great way to try out new authors for free. So yeah, let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read from any of these authors? If you could recommend any of these books that you have read, or if any of these sound more intriguing to you, what would you want me to pick up first? I'm planning on mostly just going off of readathon prompts, so if one of these books fits a readathon, I'll grab them, although I do want to prioritize my own ones as well, so I think I'm going to try to alternate between my own physical book and then a library book. So yeah, we'll see kind of how it goes. But those are the ones that I got from my library. So 11 purchased only for $1.10 and 17 borrowed from the library. They all sound pretty good to me. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.